Good evening. When I was first asked to do this talk a few weeks ago, to be honest, I was quite apprehensive. I've done a couple of motivational talks at corporates, a lot of school sports day guest speeches, but nothing like this. So please be patient with me. I'm going to take you through my journey in badminton over the last 30 or so years. And point out three important events during that period. So to start right at the beginning, I was born in Delhi. I was born to two public sector bankers, and as you might be aware, there are a lot of transfers if you're a public sector employee. And I came along while my parents were stationed in Delhi. Moved to Bangalore when I was 5, and I've been here ever since. So just one day outside my apartment, we have these outdoor badminton courts, and we had an apartment tournament where I beat this boy who was 2.5 years older than me, and his mother actually mentioned to my mom that perhaps you put him in badminton coaching. He seems to have some talent, and that is literally the reason I took the sport up. We have no history of sports in my family. It was literally just that one incident that my friend's mom asked my mom to put me in badminton coaching. I started training, in badminton at the State Youth Center on Rupatanga Road, Bangalore, under Mr. Biju Prasad, an NIS certified coach. And within a year and a half or so, I was able to be a Karnataka state champion in under 13. I won a bunch of state tournaments. In 1994, and this was the first of the three significant events in my badminton career, the Prakash Padukone Badminton Academy was founded, and I was one of the select few who was lucky enough to be selected in it. Admission was only by selection, and all of a sudden, especially from a public sector family, to have a situation where you have access to the best facilities, the best coaches, Prakash Padukone and Vimal Kumar, the best equipment, shuttles, all of that, it was a godsend. It was like a dream come true. And it was all sponsored. We had BPL as the first sponsor of the Prakash Padukone Academy. So this was truly one of the three important events in my life. Following through from there, in a couple of years, I continued to grow and develop, and I was consistently in the top 3 in India across age categories, under 13, under 16, under 19. And I also, in the year 2000, made it to the Indian junior team. In November of 2001, I won my first international, the French Junior International in Grenoble, France. And it was a couple of years after that in 2005, I won my first senior national championships. This was a long time coming. Like I said, I was always in the top 3 across age categories in India, but I was never national champion. In 2005, I won my first national championships in Jamshedpur. And in the same year, I actually moved to Denmark for a year to play for a club. They have a similar system to the football league in England and Germany. They have the badminton league in Denmark is very strong. I moved there for a year, and this was the second significant event in my badminton career. Until then, I lived a very sheltered, extremely pampered life, like some of you might know. At home, my mom took care of everything, but when I went to Denmark, I had to cook for myself, clean for myself, figure out my own travel, itinerary, visas, all of that myself. And I think while I also progressed in badminton by training with and playing against players of different styles, I think I matured a lot and as an individual, and that helped me the most in my badminton career. In the couple of years after that, I started winning a few senior international titles, starting with the Hungarian International in 2005, and I moved up the ranking list fairly rapidly. The year 2007, May 1st to April 30th, 2008, was the qualification period for the Beijing Olympics. And I'm happy to say that I made it through the qualification period, and I was the highest ranked Indian in the world ranking list, and I qualified for the Olympics. That particular Olympics, it was Saina Nehwal, myself, and Gopi Chand was the coach. It was only the 3 of us from India for badminton. As you can imagine, participating in the Olympics is the absolute pinnacle. It's every sports person's dream. And even now, so many years later, looking back and thinking back at my time there, it's impossible to describe what it feels like to walk around, the top sports people, the top sports stars across different sports from all over the world. There was Usain Bolt there before he became Usain Bolt. Gopi and me in the athletes' village, we actually played a bet table tennis match against Novak Djokovic and his physio. We won, by the way, and we made him do some push-ups. So, I mean, it's impossible to describe how that felt. But a month later, I would say was my proudest moment in sport. In the presence of my parents, I was honored with the Arjuna Award by the President of India at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi. And honestly, looking at how proud my parents felt and looking at their reaction, all of the years, the decades of sacrifice, missing out on school and college life and all of that, everything was worth it. It really was so gratifying to see how happy my parents were. I continued on to play competitive badminton for 6 more years. I won a lot of international tournaments, national tournaments during that time. I also dealt with a lot of very serious injuries. I've broken both my ankles, I've cracked my kneecap, I've torn 3 muscles in my shoulder, in my side, in my back. And I fought through many of them, but in 2015, my doctor in Mumbai finally told me that perhaps it's time maybe to look at being a young coach rather than an old player. And it was the right advice at the right time by the right person, because I don't think I would have listened to anybody else. It was only him that could actually get through to me. What I actually missed out mentioning was in 2003, I was also appointed, I had a sports appointment job with Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. It was, as some of you may know, it gives every sportsman a lot of safety, a security, sort of a safety blanket. If something doesn't go well in sport, you always have something to fall back on. But when I decided to get into coaching, I thought if I do it, I will do it full time, and I'll jump in with both feet. So I resigned from my job and got into coaching immediately, and I'm very happy to say in the last 8.5 years or so, my academy has been able to produce several state, national, and international medal winners. I give all the credit to the players and their parents. Me and my staff, we facilitate coaching, but I give all the credit to the players and parents. Over my coaching journey, since 2017, I've been a regular Indian team coach, traveling with the team. December 22 to December 23, just a few months ago, I was appointed for a year to travel with Lakshya Sen as well. I'm not sure if you've heard the name. During that period, we had some really good success. He won the Canada Open Super Series 500, won several medals at very high-level events as well, and he has already qualified for the Paris Olympics later this year. Thank you. I figure at my age, I'm 40 years old now, I have between 15 and 20 years left of competitive badminton coaching left in me. And I intend to make the best of it and to do everything in my power to make sure that Indian badminton takes its rightful place, which is right on the top of the world. Thank you. With that, I conclude my talk. And if anybody has any questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
So proud to have you here amongst us and share your story. I think all of us would like to know it takes a lot of grit and determination to be there. I think there must be some times where you have gone down the hill, and how have you picked yourself up in those times, those down the hill moments? I think we'd love to hear that bit about you.
Sure. So actually the hardest times for any sports person is when we are injured. We tend to define our self-worth by our ranking at whatever time it is, and obviously when you're injured, you're not earning any ranking points, and you're slipping down the list. It can take quite a toll, especially mentally. I'm very fortunate that I had an excellent set of family and friends around me. I've always kept my trust in a very few, sort of a very small circle of people. Very quickly, if I have the time, I'll just share one last incident. My beautiful wife is here, and I'd just like to share a small story about that. In 2008, just before Beijing Olympics, something like 8 or 10 days before, I actually slipped on a bit of sweat and I twisted my right ankle. I was injured, and to be able to play at the Olympics and go through a couple of rounds, which I was able to, I took 4 of these cortisone shots in my ankle to even be able to play. And coming back from there, I was at an all-time low because I saw myself being able to achieve something, and I wasn't able to do it. Honestly, the only way I was able to remain sane then was I was lucky enough to meet my future wife just before the Olympics, and so all credit to her that I was able to get back from that whole event. But what I'd say is, it's funny how life works. From an event that was so bad came the best thing in my life. So it's funny how life works. Thank you for giving me your time.